record. Go to my computer so I can share it. But yes, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat whilst I get started. I've got a few slides just to give you an overview of some of our successes from last year, things that are coming up this year, and with some ideas, and then we'll pop into breakout rooms, have a chat, and then look at some next steps. But I know not everyone knows each other, because what we've got are a mixture of projects that are funded, mixture of projects that are not funded. We've got people joining the link who don't have partner schools yet. So there's going to be a mixture of people accessing this meeting, and they might not be here now. They might be catching up on the recording. If you are, hello and welcome to you. But hopefully we will have plenty of information that is relevant to all of you. All right, when I'm sharing my screen, and Tate Poker, can you keep an eye on the waiting room for me, please? And we'll also keep an eye on the chat. So if you've got any questions as well, please throw them in the chat. But also, this is very informal. So if you just want to unmute and ask a question, you can do that. If you're used to Zoom, you can click on the emoji type kind of responses, reactions, to put your hand up or give us a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Always opens with way too many things that shouldn't be on my screen. There we go. Right. So new year, new us. It's going to be a very busy year for 2025 because it is our 40th birthday. So as I said, we're going to look back, but we're going to look forward mainly and have some breakout rooms to see what you guys want this year from us and from your partnerships. So if you are new to Dollen, just as a foundation, you know, we are a very small NGO that works to connect and support partnerships between our two great countries. And they're not just education, we do them in health, we do them in sport. And it's, you know, 40 years old this year. So we work very hard to promote equity, sustainability, to work with fairness, collaboration, to be as inclusive as possible and take responsibility for what we do in a very serious way in part of the global solidarity sector. And we celebrate and innovate and recognise all our successes, hopefully, as well as we can. We are little, but we're mighty. Now, when we finish today, I'll send you the slides and there's a few links that you can follow. So we've got the website link. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, you can sign up to our newsletter. And I can also pop some stuff in the chat later if needs be. But like I said, please introduce yourself in the chat also. So this is our team in Lesotho. In Wales, you've got me and you've got Kath Malongo, who is my co-director. So I'm in charge of programs and partnerships. Kath is in charge of governance. We've also got an education officer and we have an admin officer. But in Lesotho, we've got key members of staff that I want to introduce here so that particularly those of you that are new to us and joining from Lesotho, you know who everyone is. So we've got our new chairperson, Advocate Joanna Jonas. We've got our in-country manager, Mr. Manyane, and Tate Poka, you've already met. And we've got Ntate Josi, who is our education officer, and we're going to be working across all our education projects. And we have a volunteer in Matsieng and Marija May Amelia, who runs the organisation Heal Our Land, and she supports us with our school linking and our visits that come through some of our funded projects. So the more you get to know us, if you're new, the more you will get to know our team as well. So apologies, it looks like this slide is not catching up with my internet. So there was a nice picture of some artwork on there, but it's disappeared. It might come back in a second. And I will share these links with you, but we've had an incredible year in 2024. We've been able to offer lots of school linking activity that piggybacks on some of our funded projects. So our main funded project is Tithe, which is an exchange between students and teachers physically going to each other's countries. in partnerships from Wales and Lesotho, and last year's project was Pride of Place. We've had some amazing creative collaborative outcomes that will be on display on our website very soon, and many of them have been displayed in schools and celebrated in our Moketi. So we had a Moketi in Wales, and we had a Moketi in Maseru last year, which celebrated the bicentennial of the founding of Lesotho. So that was very exciting. We got ourselves in the news. Part of that project is also to credit schools in their work towards climate action. So as you can imagine, traveling to and from Lesotho generates a lot of carbon. So the schools take responsibility to offset that and support activities to raise awareness of climate change and particularly the impact in Lesotho. Also, for the first time in that project, we had some language awards. So there were a couple of students that really worked hard to learn Welsh or learn Sesotho and use that in their projects. So that was a really lovely outcome. And we also run a programme called the Wales Teacher Placement Programme, where we have 5 teachers come to Wales and stay here for 4 weeks and volunteer in a school. And they work in their subject areas, and they also teach global learning, and they teach about Lesotho and take part in training opportunities, build relationships with teachers and the pupils in their schools and communities, which was fantastic. It was in Carmarthenshire, and schools in Llanelli, Pembrey and Buryport were involved. And the teachers have now gone back to Lesotho and are working in their schools with lots of new tools in their toolkit to help promote child-centered learning, and also how to use different resources for global learning. All right, the global learning element of what we offer is non-funded. So we try to have these kinds of meetings and webinar opportunities for any school that's interested in linking between Wales and Lesotho. And so in September, we had a Sustainable Partnerships webinar where we showcased some good practice that had been happening in our Taith projects. So you can have access to that webinar if you are new to us. Also, part of our new Taith, which is Taith 3, Health, Wellbeing and Sport. We had a sports webinar where we met with some sports people online in Lesotho and learned all about their journey and their successes in the Commonwealth and Olympics. So again, you can catch up on our YouTube channel with that. And if you're working on any of those themes, you're welcome to use any of the resources that we create for these projects that are funded for certain schools. We have an annual online event in November, which was World Children's Day celebration. And that is where we hear from the young people involved in our projects, particularly our Taith projects. But it's open again to anybody to come and join with their students to learn about just what progress is being made through our partnership working. And one of the main things that comes out of such work, in particularly Taith, is that we've got the sign up of young volunteers. So for the first time since 2023, we've got a group of around 20 volunteers that are aged between 16 and 18 in Lesotho and in Wales that are helping us in our development as a charity. So I'm going to give you a heads up now, actually, because tomorrow we're going to launch our TikTok account that is going to be solely led by our young people, which is really, really exciting. And, it's a brilliant outcome of allowing school age, high school children to engage and build friendships and work on projects together. But now this gives them a chance to do some good, give something back, work towards social justice, and support a charity like us, but also they can support other charities. They can also support local initiatives. And something that has come out of that group in Tafod Seca particularly, and I don't know if anyone here is from Tafod Seca, they've started cleanup campaigns, which has come out of the Taith project. So 2 of the high schools are leading monthly cleanup campaigns and taking that to local primary schools and raising awareness and consciousness in the community. Now, it's not just in Tafod Seca, actually, I lie, it's also in Matsieng and it's in Kuting. So it's a huge impact and benefit that's come out of our project working. So you can find out all about that on our website, because we produce blogs and share all the successes as much as we can. And we also share our newsletters and spotlight things in that as well. So please keep in touch to learn about these elements. But, let's look forward, okay? So this year is our 40th year and there's lots happening, okay? So this is a partial calendar because it's quite hard to keep things up to date sometimes, but I just selected some of the things that might be of interest to you, whether you're in Wales or Lesotho. There's activities happening in both countries. As I mentioned, we've got our TikTok account launching tomorrow. Today, we've got our schools meeting. The end of the week, there is a certain global learning day that I'm going to ask you to join us on, but I'll talk more about that later. And then in February, we've got a visit to Lesotho. So we got young people and teachers going to different parts of Lesotho, many of them new schools. This is part of our health and wellbeing project. And then there will be some events. So keep an eye on the news and keep an eye on the website over in Lesotho. There will be celebration events in Matsieng and in Kick for Life in Maseru. There is a certain Kick for Life delegation also going over to Lesotho at the same time that might end up going on the television globally, but I will keep you informed about that. If you didn't know, there's a football club here in Wales, Wrexham AFC, that's linked to Kick for Life in Lesotho, and they have some certain Hollywood blockbusters owning the club and part of the storytelling initiative of their successes. So yeah, we might get a showcase on that. You never know. Let's cross our fingers. So in March, we're going to launch as part of our official birthday. So our official birthday is on the 11th of March, Mashweshwe's Day. We're going to launch a schools blanket design competition. So you will get information on that closer to the time. But if we can secure the funding, we would like then to get that blanket made in Lesotho, and then it will be on exhibition in Lesotho and here in Wales with an event that goes with that. So that would be at the end of the year if we manage to get that funding. There's going to be some fundraising initiatives happening here in Wales. We've got a sponsored cycle ride. There's going to be an event with the Welsh Rugby Union that are going to be signing a partnership with the Lesotho Rugby Academy. There's going to be a fun run down in St David's. All of these activities are about wishing Dolan a happy birthday, celebrating Mashweshwe's Day, but also raising awareness of our work and our linking and our partners, and hopefully raising some money as well. As a charity, if we don't have project funding, we really struggle. So part of the school linking program is to really try and raise some funds as well, so that we can continue to offer these types of opportunities. So something that I will talk about a little bit later on as well, but in March and April, what our ambassadors would like to do in both countries, so that is the young ambassadors and our ex-project participants, we call them the WTPP alumni, would love to go and visit schools and talk about Wales, talk about the link, talk about what type of work you could be doing and sharing with your learners. So if that is of interest to anybody, we can sign you up and arrange that with our volunteers to come and meet your learners through March and April. Ideally March, because we would like it to sit with the anniversary celebrations. And I'm going to make a note to create a sign-up form for that. So then April will be the deadline for our blanket competition. And then we'll start commissioning it to get made in May, subject to the funding. But in April, we also will have our next online event, which will be celebrating Earth Day and looking at climate action and climate justice. And we'll be spotlighting an NGO in Lesotho that is working really hard to meet the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. And we'll be spotlighting our ambassadors and our groups that are working on their cleanup campaigns. And then as we move into May, we will be preparing for WTPP, our placement in 2025. So we've got 5 teachers coming to Lesotho, to come into Wales from Lesotho to be placed. They'll be coming for 4 weeks. and we will hopefully be celebrating their arrival at a big Eisteddfod event here in Wales called the ILF, which will be at the end of May, and then their placement runs through to June. And there's two different challenge events. One is a cycle ride to London that is in support of the Rugby Academy. So there'll be a chance to sponsor those riders if you're interested, or raise awareness about the Rugby Academy to go with that. And secondly, in June in Wales, we have one of the highest peaks in South Wales, which is not high compared to Lesotho. But we're going to run a community hike. So it's about getting our Dolan family together and climbing a big mountain and having a celebration at the top and raising awareness. Yes, we'd like to raise some funds, but it's not obligatory to join and raise money. We just want to get people together and have a good experience of hiking up one of our beautiful areas. So in July and the end of June there, we're going to have another group coming over from Lesotho. So we've got two projects, Taith and Futures. So we're going to have students and teachers coming over, and there'll be some celebration events and activities happening. And then going to Lesotho, there's going to be a sports tour from St. David's, and they're linked in with Matsieng, and they will be having a community event in July, which is awesome. So that's a completely different project that is completely funded by that school. For those of you in Wales who might not be on holiday in August, we are going to have a gala dinner in conjunction with the Rugby Academy, an event that they are hosting with some veteran rugby players. And then, like I said, if the funding is secured, we will be setting up a display of the new blanket from the competition in Lesotho, and then it'll be coming to Wales for the autumn so that we can have a display and event at the end of our 40th year. So lots happening. Before I jump onto the next slide, does anyone want to ask any questions or jump in there with any thoughts?
Ma,
Is that it?
I'm just asking about the blanket. Who's doing the blanket? Is it the selected certain people doing that, or
Yeah,
all the partners are involved in this, or what is it about?
So the
Thank you.
school children can design a blanket to celebrate the link between Wales and Lesotho, and then we'll commission somebody to make it in Lesotho. So it'll be made like a traditional Lesotho blanket, but the design will be based on on the competition winner. That's the plan.
No doubt.
Which sounds good. If you guys have any links with how to get a blanket made in Lesotho, please let me know, because that is something we're researching at the moment. But it's quite exciting. All right, so I've mentioned a few of these already in terms of opportunities, but things that I might have forgotten about. So our theme for this year, in terms of applying for new projects, so we're going to apply for Taith funding, and we can only apply from the Welsh side. So partners in Lesotho, I'm really sorry about this. You'd have to encourage your Welsh partner to apply to us, because it's Welsh funded and we only go through the Welsh school, and then the partners come on board. And so the theme for the 2026 project at the end of 2025 will be reducing inequalities. Now, there's an extension on that deadline because the funding hasn't been released yet. So Taith won't be releasing that until the end of January. So we will have until the beginning of March to submit the application. So expressions of interest need to come to me by mid-February, and there's a link I can share with the Welsh schools for that. We have recruited our teachers for our WTPP programme here in Wales already, but we are looking for host schools. So I'll talk to the Welsh schools separately about that in a second. Something that is very exciting, and it's still a little bit to be confirmed, but there's a company here in the UK that is just creating a new Sesotho language app for the phone. And we've been involved with some content for that. So I'll keep you posted, but we're hoping a new app will be launched, and there is a teacher dashboard that can be accessed. It's not free, but we will be finding out some opportunities for that if any of our Welsh schools would like to use it with their young people, which would be amazing if we could increase our Sesotho speakers here in Wales. I've already mentioned we'll have a webinar in April. Everything, all this creative work, which you can see one of the pictures here that celebrate the Pride of Place project, will be exhibited online. And if we do get this blanket made, we will have a pop-up exhibition to display that artwork as well. So that will be a real bonus to have that in both countries, celebrating all the creative skills that came out of the Taith project last year. And I've mentioned the others. What I haven't mentioned is we are running a project called Futures Thinking, which is looking at the Wales-Lesotho partnership in the past, but also in the future, and some of the big global issues around working together in an international partnership. That's being done now, and it's creating a resource that can be used in both countries. So if you're interested in using that resource, we'd love to work with you more formally on that, so that at the end of this year, we can sign you up and we can get you trained up to use that. And it's very much a learner-led piece of work, which is quite exciting, and it fits with our work here in Wales. That is on our new curriculum. It's all about the learner being at the centre of the curriculum, and this resource should be quite an exciting way to do that. We're going to have a new platform for all of you Link schools that are not necessarily involved in a particular project at the moment. I'll talk about that at the end. But I do know many of you have got many resources, some that you've shared with me already, but as part of this year, if you would like us to translate your resources and get them on our hub platform here in Wales, we can. But also NCDC and Lesotho are really keen to see the resources that can be used in Lesotho for the Wales Link. So again, that will be an opportunity for you to develop your professional skills to make resources and share them with the wider network of schools. So we'll be putting a sign up for that as well. All of this activity raises our profile. We're 40 years old, but still I can walk into a room and many people don't know we exist. So we really want to amplify our profile in both countries this year, and it does rely on really good stories being told, and that comes to people like you, so that if you are talking about the link in school, that you talk about it with your families, that you talk about it in church, that you talk about it with your friends, that you share our website with people, that you maybe raise funds or have an activity that raises the profile of Dolan, so that we can really, really try and increase our reach. You know, we have a mediocre social media presence. We have about 1,000 people on our newsletter. I would love to get more, and I really, really would love to get 40 active school partnerships this year. You know, we had 30 active school partnerships last year with Taith. But, you know, people are busy and they have different priorities. So not all of them are carrying on into the engagement this year. So I really, really would like to just get more strong partnerships working together and learning together so that we're able to support each other. All right, any questions before we move into breakout rooms? I never believe that there's no questions. Is there anything in the chat that might be worth telling me about? Can you see anything, Satempe? No? All right. Okay, so I've given Satempe some questions for those of you in Lesotho, and you need to bear with me 2 minutes whilst I put you into your breakout rooms. But from you guys, I want to know, what are you doing with your partner school if you have one this year, if you're not involved in a project necessarily? What would you like to do if you don't have a partner school? And then would you like to get involved in any of our other projects, any of our opportunities for teacher training? And would you like somebody to come to the school to talk about Wales and the link if you don't have your own ambassador? Or maybe you do have your own ambassadors and you would like to join that network, okay? So Tade Poker is going to lead that conversation for about 10 minutes. in the breakout room. We'll see how quickly I go through my questions for the Welsh people. But whilst I'm doing that, I need to put you in breakout room, so I'm hoping I can do that quite quickly. And every time I forget. Bear with. Whilst I'm doing breakout rooms, please feel free to unmute and ask any questions and see if Ntate Poker or myself can answer them. No question. I can see quite a few new names here. So if you are new to the link and to meeting me, please put your name and introduction in the chat whilst you're waiting. And it does look like we have a majority of Basotho here. So what's going to pop up on your screen is a sign saying go to room 1. So can all the Basotho teachers go to room 1 when it comes up on your screen? And then when I finish speaking to the Welsh teachers, I'll pull you all back in. Okay? Is that all right, Ntate Poker?
Yes, ma'am. It's fine.
I'm going to set the breakout room to open now.
Okay.
Okay, so look on your screen. It should say join room 1 and you need to tap that button. All the Welsh teachers are going to stay in this bit of the room with me. Still sounds weird calling them rooms, screens. So all Basotho teachers tap the screen to room 1 and go and have a chat with Ntate Poker. All right. Don't know if I can move anyone. Right, there's 3 of you still here. It's not going to be as helpful to stay in our breakout room here. So you should have an invite on your screen to join room 1. Mefosi, Megan Sepeng, and Tate Renang. Can you see on your screen that you need to join room 1? I'm not sure if I can assign you. I'm talking to just an empty screen now, whether or not anybody can help me with this. Not joined. There's not much I can do. Okay, you're just going to have to stay with us then. All right, Welsh people, can I see your faces, please? Otherwise, I'm talking into the ether and it's not very nice. There we go. Happy New Year. How are you? You okay? Wonderful. Thank you for joining, guys. As usual, I always talk too much, and I want to talk a bit now with you, but I do want you to kind of just chip in and give me any feedback or any ideas, okay? Because I got a few things to share with you. So let me share my screen again. I'm going to assume that the recording will just record this bit as well. So first of all, I'm putting a shout out for WTPP. So the dates at the moment, I did say in my calendar that they'd be coming in May, which was not true. That was a previous plan. But they're going to be coming for 4 weeks in June. We've recruited 1 secondary teacher and 4 primary teachers. We're looking for schools, possibly just 3 schools, so 2 primaries to host 2 teachers each and 1 secondary school. But we also need to find host homes. Not a big ask at all. We've been in Berryport. Glanammore's done it twice. Thank you, Angelique, for that. It is really nice when you do 2 years in a row because you kind of get in the groove of it all. This year we do have 2 principals come in, and they're a really nice bunch. We've got two ladies and 3 gentlemen. The placement will always request there to be a teacher who can be their point person, their mentor, giving them an opportunity to teach their subject areas and their specialisms, taking part in training, particularly inclusion, literacy, leadership, and then be able to offer that global learning element to your learners. I know many of you know what I'm talking about here, but I am talking to anyone watching the recording as well. The SDG focus for this year's WTPP will be SDG 10. Also SDG 5, actually, it'd be a bit of both. So reducing inequalities could be a focus on gender, depending on the teacher who's coming and what your priorities are as a school, if you're interested. But also the main focus is for that Basotho teacher to really help embed the partnership and work on moving that forward. Now, I am hoping to give first refusal to Caerphilly. And the reason for that is that we've got strong links and you're not involved in TIFE at the moment. And we have got one teacher coming who's already been to St. James. So he was linked to St. James, but he's now in a different school. And ironically, he's actually linked to Lakeside in Cardiff. So remember Vicky, your cluster. So he's now the principal of that school, which is a new school, St. Gerard's. But I kind of thought Caerphilly could be a first refusal if you were interested, guys, and I could approach St. James as well. And we are working with St. Kenneth as a high school, so they might be interested. If not, I'll pool it to Cardiff. I've got to think logistically about how these people can be supported by volunteers. And if we don't have the hosting homes, nearby, it can be quite tricky. So I would like to keep them in nearish areas. So that's my first kind of call out. If that isn't of interest in your schools, then I'll open it widely. I'm not adverse, Angelique, to coming back down to Berryport, Carmarthenshire, but I don't know about the hosting situation. I don't know if Polly can help this year. I don't want to put on too many people. So I'm just opening it initially to those schools. And then if anyone else is interested, please let me know. So any questions on that one?
When do you need an answer by, Sharon?
I'm going to meet the candidates properly in mid-February.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to give them an answer. You can imagine for them, it's quite anxious, isn't it? They're like, oh, I'm coming to Wales, but I don't know where I'm going. So 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. And if we are able to host them as a school, but we aren't able to host them in our homes, is that still a possibility, or do we need to be able to do both?
It's still a possibility. I can reach out wider. I can look at kind of people that might have Airbnbs. I might do it at a reduced rate. I do have some Dolan family in Caerphilly and Cardiff that might host as well. So it's not a deal breaker if nobody in the school will host.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Lauren, is there something that you might want to speak to Sophie about? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to chat with Sophie. Yeah.
All right, lovely. Thank you. All right. Any questions on that one?
Yes, please. Just wondering, the secondary school placement, what is the speciality of the teachers? Is science and maths again?
It is actually. No actual planning in that, but it is science and maths. Yeah. So do you think those departments would be interested if they...
I will have to ask first. I was just wondering whether we could work with other departments as well.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it ironic? Like it wasn't...
So, no, that's fine. We can't change we can't train 6 months in a different subject, can we?
Yeah.
It's a matter of asking the school and of course, and the department. So
yeah. Thanks, Angelique. All right. I'm just still seeing if I can maneuver people into room 1. Let's see, guys, from Lesotho, you need to try and go into room 1 if you can. You've got to click what's on your screen that tells you to go into room 1. Otherwise, none of this is of interest to you. I do apologize. Right, so the second project, which I've mentioned, is the new TIFE. So there's a slight delay on all of that. We do prioritise schools that are currently involved and giving them an opportunity for a second visit to make their partnerships more sustainable, but they might not want to be involved. So we open the expression of interest out to everybody. There's a link to fill in that I'll share with you, and that would be to travel in 2026. Leanne, as you know from the previous meetings about this, we send people out in February with students from secondary school or as teachers on a teacher placement. Taith have reduced their funds. I've got no clue what they're going to offer by the end of the month. So we are looking at possibly applying for tutoring as well. Okay, so Taith would be prioritising the schools that are working on it now and maybe seeing if they're interested and putting in a few extras. We might not get the full amount of money. So when the tutoring scheme, which is the UK-wide exchange scheme, comes out, we will apply for that as well. So there's 2 opportunities. So if you are really interested, please just fill in that one expression of interest form, and that will work for both funding schemes. And we'll just keep you posted as we move along. The deadline for Taith will be March. So I'll be getting in touch with you in February if we're able to put you into the application. All right. Similar theme to what I've been talking about. We really want to push our inclusion action plan here for Dolin, and work on our status as an anti-racist Wales. So it's all about reducing inequalities and trying to create opportunities for learning there. All right, any questions about those 2 funding streams? No? Okay. All right. I got another one. Now, forgive me, because this needs some work. And again, like everything, the timing sucks. All right. So let me just share my slide. Oh, I'm going backwards. So we are going to try to apply for some Welsh Government new curriculum money. Okay. So I got to do this week and get it in by next week. So if you are interested, and this is anyone in the room or watching the recording in Wales that would be interested, and many of you could be part of this, we can apply for some funds to share progress. That's the priority area in the Curriculum for Wales grant scheme that we could fit. So it would be looking at how you have used your global partnerships and global learning in your school to effectively implement the curriculum design. So we would be looking at creating some really cool case studies. So my initial thinking is that year 1 would be research and interviews and looking at what you've done so far. And then year 2 would be looking at perhaps current projects and current developments, especially if you want to use some of our futures resources, how that can shape the your curriculum design, but also then how it's disseminated and good practice is shared, and all the things on the slide there are your key benchmarking from government that, you know, ensure that you're meeting the new curriculum. So we'd have to meet all of those areas of the criteria to showcase your work wider than the Lesotho partnership, because they want it to be transferable, but using the Lesotho partnership and your involvement with us and the projects to frame it. Okay, because I know many of you are doing lots of other things that all fit in. Now, the way in which this application has to be structured is looking at the wellbeing goals for future generations, and particularly choosing different cross-cutting priorities, which we would choose the local, national, and international context, diversity, and then integral skills, looking at the critical creative thinking. They're really interested in creativity and innovation. And I think some of the work that you've done last year could really fit into that. What that commitment is for you, it would be, you know, days of meetings and interviews and planning, and then sharing, I suppose, allowing Dolin to come in and meet with senior management and, you know, curriculum leads and kind of doing that diagnostic work, but then the monitoring of you running a project and how that can turn into a case study, and the time allocated for that, I don't know, but that's what I would put in the funding, would be the supply to cover that, etc. What they want are creative case studies, so they want them from a learner's perspective, and so it could be a vlog, a blog, you know, something exciting, radio show, podcast, you know, things that we've already done in our partnerships as well. So the deadline is a week on Friday. So I'm going to get my ideas together tomorrow, send them out to you if you're interested, and then draft the application and then pull together a meeting next week to see if it fits with what you think, and then go for it. So that's quite a quick turnaround. So if you are interested, I will need you to let me know by tomorrow, and then I can factor you into my plans. So yes, any questions about that one? questions. Not even from you, Vicky Norrish. Really? Do you know the hilarious bit? I had to email them to say, how much money can I apply for? They couldn't tell me. Like, what? They couldn't tell me. So basically I could like apply for loads of money. But the downside, I would love to build into this like resources and all of that, but it doesn't fund that. It funds the case study side of it. If I can try and wangle using the project to enhance the curriculum design, I think that might be a way in. But I really, really will need consultation. So please drop me a WhatsApp tonight or tomorrow if you're interested, and then I can follow up. All right. Is that it for thing? No, I got one more slide. One more ask. Apologies, guys. So taking action. We're all about action. And like I said, there's no funding for this side of the Lincoln programme. So, you know, if you're not part of a funded project this year, what do you want? What would you like from us? Tell us what you want, see if we can do it. Could you do a fundraising challenge this year as part of Darling at 40? Raising funds for us, for Darling, to keep this stuff going. Some of it can go to partner projects as well. You know, it'll be about kind of sustaining our role as a body of staff and a charity to be able to support our partners. And, you know, we've tried to ask schools for affiliation fees and we've fallen flat on our face and not got them. But is there a chance that your school might donate, you know, up to £50 for a subscription? Even £20 would be something. You know, at the moment we don't get any money from schools to fund this kind of support. So is there any of those elements that you could perhaps take back to the powers that be and see if there's any way forward with that? What I would say, and I said school fundraising challenge, it doesn't necessarily have to be a fundraising challenge. You could have an event that is just about celebrating the link and celebrating Darling at 40, you know, and there might be like a cake sale or something, but, you know, it might not, the focus, like our community hike, might not be raising money, but it's just, again, like I said, about those stories and celebrating what you have already been doing as successful partnerships, and feeding it in with our anniversary year. All right. Any questions on that? I'm always uncomfortable when I talk about.
What is the, sorry, Sharon, what is the official date of the 40th anniversary?
11th of March.
March, perfect, okay.
All right. Okay, I'm going to shout out to the breakout, see if they're ready to come back in. Some people, bless them, are struggling. They haven't gone into that room. If you do have any other questions, pop them in the chat, or feel free to unmute. Welcome back, guys. If you didn't make it into room 1, I do apologise. The intention was for you to go and speak to Ntati Boka. Hopefully, maybe you can get some feedback from him in a second once he comes back in. And slowly come in. Maybe they've left the meeting. No, they're coming back now. I'm sure many people have been guilty of just leaving the meeting instead of leaving the breakout room. All right. Ntati Boka, how was that? Did you get some information?
Yes, ma'am, that was fantastic. We had a great discussion there.
Oh, good, good. So can you
Yeah.
feed back later to me, or is there anything that you can share right now?
I can just share and I will give you on details next time.
Okay.
For those that have partnered, they have got something that they're going to do. Like first of all, that is SDG 3. And also they are going to help learners express themselves through art, sports, and other things. So also they are going to hold workshops, school-based workshops that Dolen will be asked to facilitate. The main of the workshop will be to capacitate teachers with the skills on how to deal with the SEN. That is children who have got special educational needs.
Okay.
So, and also to deal with the children who are engaged with the drugs and substance abuse. So the workshops will be asked on that matter.
Okay.
Also, there is a requisition that the high schools would like if Dolen can offer a training on Jolophonics for grade 8 and 9 learners, because they live primary level, some of them not knowing how to read and write, and in putting this read, they have seen the results, because Mentavissem worked very hard with the teacher who was teaching English there, and they saw the good results. So the requisition is that the high schools that are involved could be given the workshop. Yeah, I think that is the summary of that. While in another center, the maths workshops is also requested there.
Yeah. Great.
Those are for the schools that are not having the link with Dolen at all.
Okay.
Jolophonics and maths. Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you, Ntade, and thank you everyone for contributing, because we support professional learning. In Wales, it's more to do with global learning and international partnerships. In Lesotho, it's across different areas, and we can use our Dolen volunteers who have got certain expertise, but also we can use our partners here in Wales to also offer expertise when we offer online training. So, you asking us and telling us what you need is brilliant, because we can curate a program. We can look at where there might be some funding and see what possibilities there are to be able to do that. The easiest way to do any of it is to do it online, so that is low cost. And that might be the solution initially until we can get more funding. But, if you are joining the link and you don't have a partner, then that is a really good outcome for you if you can take part in that learning journey. So that's wonderful. Thank you. All right, I've got a few other suggestions before we finish 5 o'clock our side, and I know it's late in Lesotho, so thank you for joining. I've just got another slide and a link to share with you about some next steps. Okay, so I mentioned already our TikTok account will be live tomorrow, so you might not be on TikTok, but your young people might be, so please tell your learners who are on social media and are part of the link and want to be part of the link, because then they can start to engage in, like I said, young people's content, and we're going to have the youth volunteers posting on that. The first thing just on this list is about today's meeting and having a chance to have these types of feedback sessions, so that you tell us what you want and then we try and do it, and then we keep that kind of cycle of review happening. And we can't always meet all the expectations and requisitions, but we will try. So this You Said We Did process is something that we really want to encourage here at Dolen Cymru Lesotho. Now, this is part of collaboration, and all the next stages here are about collaboration. Okay, so I've created this new Padlet, which is all about the Global Learning Days. And on Saturday, we've got our first Global Learning Day, which is our new a new one. I'm reading and speaking at the same time. It is the Welsh version of St. David's Day, St. Valentine's Day, which I know in Lesotho you love. So I'm just going to open up the Padlet so you can see what it is. I know I use a lot of Padlets and it might not be the best for you, and we will take feedback on a way to better present it, but you know, we've got to start somewhere. Okay, so this is a Padlet for those of you that are not currently taking part in a project but want to take part in the Global Celebration Days. And if you don't have a link, this Padlet will help you get some content from Wales. Okay, so if you see this third column here, this St. Dwynwen's Day, like I said, is our Valentine's Day on Saturday. So post an audio or video in English, Welsh or Sesotho to send some love to the other side of the world. So it's really easy to post on here. Using your phone, you download this app, you can click the plus button, you can click upload or even live to camera to be able to put a video or photograph on there. You'd upload it and then this little button will turn pink and you would publish it and it would appear on that column. And then, so say for example, Ninian Park, you send a message of love and happy St. Dwynwen's Day to your partner school. But if you post it here, then what we have are the 4 or 5 partner schools here that don't have partners, but then they can show their students, Welsh students from Cardiff or wherever, flagging up the celebration day. Okay, so it's just a really simple tool to get that cross exchange of communication happening for more people. And what also we'll post are some links that tell you more about it. So this Global Celebration Day, if you click on that post, it will take you to the website that is led by the Welsh Tourism Company organisation, and it will tell you all about why St. Dwynwen's Day is celebrated and what the significance is, who the patron saint was, and even you can download images and you can download little greeting cards. So, you know, it's nice just to have a place where you can find information without having to search very far. So we're going to do the same for St. David's Day and encourage you to post your well wishes on St. David's Day, which is our national celebration day of the patron saint David. And then our blanket competition will come on here with ideas. And for those of you that don't know, Marija Museum has got a Basotho blanket competition. So please do, oh my God, I can't speak, Basotho blanket exhibition. So please look on their website and there's loads of examples there. And there's a beautiful one there you can see. And the same will happen for other special days in our calendar. So we'll have Mashweshwe's Day, Earth Day, Africa Day in May. We'll have some links about teaching in more depth about each country. But also, excuse me, I haven't finished that word. In September, we have our Sustainable Partnerships session. In October, we have Mental Health Day. In November, we have World Children's Day. So there are key elements that you can get involved with, even if you don't have an active project or an active link school. All right, 2 minutes to go until we end. So I open the floor to questions or comments from anybody, please. Don't be shy. Tate Sani, did you unmute? Did you want to say anything? I know we've been in touch via email.
Can we say something, please?
I think Mephosi's got a question. Hi, May.
Hello.
Hey, how are
I'm
you?
very glad to be part of the meeting today. I also willing to have one school on the other day to be our partners. We have worked more with Ndade Poka, and even something that he's talking about for the results for the grade, for the primary level. Really, we are very impressed about the standard that
Oh, I think you might have cut me. May, did you want to say anything else? May Fawzi?
Yeah, everything. Thank you.
Thank you, May.
Thank you, May.
Thank you. I think what I have to emphasize, guys, is, for those of you that are here who don't have partner schools, the waiting list is long and the Welsh schools are slow to sign up. So the reality of getting link schools is not immediate. And some of you have been on the waiting list for years. And so you are prioritized when you've been on the list for so long. But again, you have to match a suitable school. So it's not a fast process by any means. And we don't want you to lose heart. So this strategy to try and pool together resources from a number of schools hopefully will keep you and your learners engaged, but also, as you said, being able to engage in some of the other projects in Lesotho will also be of huge benefit. All right, guys, well, we'll draw to a close. My Welsh colleagues that have been here today and are perhaps catching up on the recording, please let me know if there's a particular interest in any of those projects. I will follow up with an email to everybody with the relevant sign-up forms for different things. And then our next meeting will be in April when we do an Earth Day webinar. And we'll have a chance to have a You Said We Did discussion as well, see what status we're at. But I would love you all to be shining a light on Dolan this year and celebrating our 40th birthday with us. So thank you, guys. If you want to be part of my photograph, you have to put your video on. I always do a photograph at the end. Daddy Poker, do you want to say any closing words?
Yes, ma'am. Let me just thank them very much for really taking this initiative, both from Lesotho and Wales. And this shows the great thing that you are doing and the support that you are giving us. And I think together we will be the winners. So thank you very much. For the people in Lesotho, please go in my inbox so that we can talk further for those things that we did not finish there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tate.
And measure on after that, can we just remain if you still have time?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, before you go then, guys, let's have a quick photo. So pop your video on. Oh, it's not working for everybody. If it is working, pop your video on and we'll have a little screenshot, smiley face. Every time I do this, look demented, but we'll give it a go. Anyone in Lesotho, if you can, pop your camera on so we can see you. There we go. Tate Clement. Bon Tate Clement. Me Fawzi, is your camera working? And Tate Vincent. Me Pusletso, is your camera working? I'm going to give you about 2 seconds and then I'm going to take a picture. All right. Okay. Everyone ready? We're going to say Le Shilly Shilly after 3. Oh,
Le Shilly Shilly.
Hang on. One more. There we go. Have to spin it around, me Fawzi.
Something music here. So let me do this. Something's wrong here.
Maybe just turn the phone if you can.
Okay, there's something, I don't know what is happening here.
Oh, don't worry. Okay. All right then. Everyone ready? After 3. 1, 2.
Okay.
That one took a few seconds. Yes, we got it. Lovely. Right. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.